Welcome everybody. This is Karen King, and she is here today to talk to us about juggling work-life balance and travel, and also to tell us about how she's grown her business and how that could help you. So, Karen, if you'd like to start by telling us a little bit about you and your business.
Absolutely. So I'm Karen King. I'm the founder of Gold Star Pro. I'm an Australian, as you can probably tell from the accent. I'm a mum of two, a wife, a serial entrepreneur. And since 2016, we started traveling full time. So full-time traveler as well as all of that. So yeah, we now, I've done a lot of things over the years, but we now work with solopreneurs and small business owners. We have an all-in-one software platform, and we support non-techies a lot with incredible support. I've been on that side of the equation, I guess. I've been a coach. I've been a course creator. I've had the tech struggles, and so when we built Gold Star Pro, we really built it to focus on supporting people and holding their hand at every turn. So yeah, we spend a lot of time working with our users and really looking after them.
Lovely. That sounds really good. So you say you travel. Are you traveling like every month you go a different place or you
Well, we have a base now. So the first 4 years of travel, we used to call ourselves deliberately homeless. We would live in hotels, we would live in Airbnbs, a lot of house sitting along the way. Now we have a base. So since COVID days or just before COVID, we set up a base initially in Panama and then in Turkey and now in Bulgaria. So we have a long-term lease. We spend, maybe a couple of months here and then we go and travel and then we come back. So we use it as a place to come back to because, like all traveling families need, we ended up picking up a dog, which was not part of the plan.
yes.
But now, so we have her here in Bulgaria and we have house sitters look after our apartment whilst we go off and travel. So yeah, we've just come back from 3 months in the US and we're looking forward to ski season here in Bulgaria.
Wonderful. Oh, I was going to ask you how you have a dog and travel, but you have house sitters.
I do wonder sometimes. We ended up in Panama during COVID, and at the end of that, we had no intention of leaving. And we've got two kids now, 20 and 14. And I love dogs as well, so it was a good excuse to get a dog. But then because Panama had a really, really strict lockdown, so once that was all over, we said, you know what, we need to get out. And so the dog came with us and she moved to Turkey and now she's here in Bulgaria. So she's gone from street dog to international jet setter. She even has her own European pet passport now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's been crazy, but we love her.
Oh, that's exciting. I didn't even know you could get such a thing as a
Yes.
pet passport. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Wonderful. So why don't we talk a little bit about how you can help people who are a little bit tech terrified, shall we say, or a little less experienced in tech, how you can help them, in particular, perhaps about growing things on autopilot.
So my passion is looking after people. I've always been in spaces where I work with people. When we first started traveling, we started a business building websites for people. I had been in that space where I'd tried, I'd had businesses and I wanted a website, but I didn't have the budget that a lot of the website builders were asking for. So I went out and I taught myself how to build websites, and then I started a business working with solopreneurs and small business owners and helping them without the extra high price tag to go with it. That led to teaching people how to build websites for themselves. And then as part of my travels, I got really interested in automating everything because I'd much rather be out, exploring Paris or London or wherever we are than sitting in at my computer doing all the manual day-to-day sort of stuff that we all get stuck doing. So I love automation. And then, when all of that sort of comes together, it just made for an amazing recipe, I guess, to be able to launch Gold Star. When I first met the development team that have created the core software that is Gold Star, I
Mhm.
just fell in love with it because all of the people I was working with at the time had, you know, 7, 10, 12 different systems. They were all really, really complicated. And I needed to know all of them. And then I had to try and teach all of them. And it was a recipe for disaster, really. So when we first met with the development team that have created the core of Gold Star, I fell in love with it, but I knew that it was going to be way too technical. You know, most business owners, most solopreneurs are not techie. You
Mhm.
can be the most amazing coach in the world, but if you're not techie, you then don't have the skills to be able to actually grow and scale your business.
Absolutely.
So what I did was partner an amazing all-in-one platform with the coaching and the support and the training and the hand holding that I love to do. So it's been a really, really amazing combination because we work quite closely with people. I know our users. I get on a call with every new user that joins Gold Star Pro because I want to know our users. I want to know what they're doing and how we can help them. We're very much a people first approach, which is really, really different to every other platform out there that I've ever experienced. I know that so many of them, especially if you're non-techie, it's really frustrating when you need help and you reach out and it's like a ghost town. I reached out to one company at one point, and I'd sort of, I'm techie, so I'd tried everything, and it took them 3 weeks to get back to me. And I thought, imagine if you're not techie and you've
Yeah.
got this problem. And so we do 5 live coaching calls every single week. We have 24/7 live chat. We have an incredible Facebook community. And so we're very, very hands-on and very, very interactive and work very closely with our users. And that's kind of the standard for the $97 a month that we charge. So
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
Wow. And do you do those coaching calls yourself, those five?
Some days, yeah. So
Wow.
I have an amazing team.
Mhm.
Most of the time, I have two coaches
Mhm.
that get on and do those calls. But somebody's on leave, then it's me that jumps on. I actually love doing those calls. If I'm having a bad day, when I see one of those calls or an onboarding call or something like that, that I love getting on those
Yeah.
calls because it pulls me out of my bad day, and I love hearing how people can use the platform and how we can support them and how we can just all have a bigger impact on the world.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, of course, at the end of the day, it all comes down to the people, doesn't it? That's
It
amazing.
does. It does. And unfortunately, a lot of businesses forget that. And it's always been my passion in everything that I've done. People and incredible customer service has always been my motto. I kind of think that like it shouldn't be the exception to the rule, but unfortunately it tends to be. So, I mean, we're human. We don't always get it right, but we strive to offer something incredible. And we've built an amazing reputation because of that. And because with that support and with everything in one place, we can start to simplify people's businesses. And as solopreneurs and small business owners, people wear too many hats. They're doing it all themselves, and they tend to get stuck in the business and then they can't grow the business. And so what we do is we bring them into the platform. We help them simplify, first of all, the number of platforms that they have, the amount of money that they're spending every month, but then we teach them how to build the systems. So like I said, my background is training and development. We have step-by-step tutorials that walk you through every part of building, a freebie funnel that's going to build, your mailing list, how to build a sales system so that you can actually sell stuff. We don't leave it for people to have to figure it out on their own. They literally follow me along. They they watch me click a button and then they click the button. And so when you have new people come in who tell you, "Hey, I've struggled with tech for years,"
Mhm.
and then they, wake up the next morning, they've built a system and overnight they've earned $900 with something fully automated that they've built themselves. That's just, that's amazing. I love that.
I love that about the system. I love that you don't need to learn all these different softwares like you're
Mm,
saying. Um,
yeah,
that that you're and obviously the follow along long videos sound great. But the fact that it'll all be, I assume, intuitive once you've learned this bit, it'll all be
yeah,
the similar skills. Um,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
And it's
I was
skills on top of skills. So the first thing we do is we actually put people into a 5 day challenge. So we've got a 14-day trial, like all the platforms out there. But for us, that wasn't quite enough. So we've just recently launched a 5 day challenge where all of our new users are invited to come into the 5 day challenge and build their first fully automated system with all of our training, with all of our support, so that they can see that they can actually do it themselves. And that's half the struggle is most business owners or solopreneurs who have struggled with tech lose confidence in their ability to do it. And then it becomes, well, I don't have the funds to pay someone else to do it. I don't have the time to figure it out myself. So what do I do? And so often I talk to business owners that say, I was literally at the stage of deciding whether I shut my business down or not because I was I got into this business to do X and
Yeah,
I ended up doing all the manual stuff, the busy work that's actually not, it's got to be done, but it's
yeah.
not their passion. So yeah, so we help them get back to what they love.
That's amazing because of course that the accountability and the especially at the beginning, the hand holding
Yeah,
are essential, aren't they? Absolutely.
absolutely.
That's where a lot of people who follow the podcast are. They're stuck at that point where they could
Yeah.
do with a bit of hand holding to get those building blocks so that they can actually start doing the bit they love. Yeah.
Exactly. And once you've built one little system, then it's about figuring out what you actually need for your business because every business is different. But most businesses have similar types of systems. So a
Mhm.
sales system, a calendar system, a freebie funnel, maybe a webinar system. And so these are sort of core concepts. But through our training and our support, we show people what to do, but then we show them how to customize it for their business. And because they're building skill on top of skill, when they first start, we show them how to build a form, how to build a funnel or a small 2 page website. And we show them how to create an automation in the back of that that fires up when somebody fills out that form. And a lot of people just feel so overwhelmed even with that. But when we walk them through this 5 day challenge and they see this come to life, then suddenly they realize they can do it.
Mhm.
Now they've got a really, they've got an understanding of all the different parts of the business or most of, the important parts of the business. It's a big system. Um, but it gives them the confidence to be able to say, okay, now I need to build a system where people can book on my calendar or build something that I can actually sell, or courses or build a community or whatever the case may be. So we really, as I said, we do a lot of hand holding, but it's also about helping them see that they can actually do this despite past experiences.
Yes, yes. I think that's it. It's the confidence to do that despite your past experiences. Absolutely. I was reading before we had our call here about how you have a one-click Facebook funnel. That sounds
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. Oh my goodness. This process was born out of my frustration. So like, anybody that has a Facebook group will understand it's a great opportunity to build an email list. You can ask a question, get their email address. But what I used to do, and I know a lot of business owners, a lot of group admins do this, is copy and paste the email address into whether it's MailChimp or, wherever, or even just an Excel document and then send an email with the freebie attached.
Mhm.
And I got so sick of doing this. Like people just weren't getting into my group because I was the bottleneck because I wasn't copying the email addresses quick enough. So then I'd screenshot it all and I'd get back to my computer and I'd have, like 50 screenshots and have to sit there and do it manually. Then I started paying my daughter to do it and my husband to do it. And ultimately we've created a system using a third-party tool that we give all of our users free as part of Gold Star. And we teach them how to set this up. So when they go into their group, they click one button
Mhm.
and that automatically triggers a whole bunch of things. So first of all, it sends them a Facebook message welcoming them, which is absolutely incredible because it starts that relationship building process that we
Absolutely.
all we need. Um, it also sends the contact details over into Gold Star, and that can trigger a workflow. So, and in that workflow, you can deliver that freebie that you've promised when you ask for their email address. And so
Yeah.
all of that happens when we let somebody into a Facebook group, we click a button like we do to let them in ordinarily. But with this button, it triggers all of those things. I got really sick and tired of the whole, trying to grow my mailing list by sharing my freebie all over the place. Like it's hard work. So when I launched my Facebook group and introduced this process, I grew my list to what are we at now? About 7,000 just by letting people into the Facebook group. And it
Hmm.
even went as far as when I let somebody into the Facebook group who I'd never met, never had a conversation with, she got my welcome message, which most admins don't do because again, it's time
Yeah.
consuming. She got my Facebook message and she went and purchased a $7,500 package just because she was so excited at what we were offering that she went through all of that process. I'd never met her. I had no relationship with her, but these little steps, which were fully automated, the money just appeared in my bank account. So it's things like that that can have a really big impact. And when you've got processes like that in your business
Yeah.
that are ticking along, then you can get back to doing the stuff that you love.
Amazing. So obviously you recommend your software. Have
Absolutely.
you quite rightly. Have you got any top tips for people who aren't on your software yet? How
Absolutely.
they could grow their business through automation, or even going back to travel, any tips for how they could manage to fit more travel into their work-life balance?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the travel is about simplifying your business and this is where automation is so important because what I find having done a lot of research talking to our users and hearing about their experience, what I found is that so many are in business because they want a better life. They don't want to be stuck in the 9 to 5. They want their own business. They want to generate, better income, all of these sorts of things. But what typically happens is they end up stuck in their business. And so automation, bit by bit, starts freeing up your time again. Plus, when we're building a business, and we work a lot with businesses that are online, so coaches and course creators that are servicing sort of international audiences. When you are online and all of these things are ticking along, you're not chained to your laptop. So you
Yeah.
can get out there and travel and, spend an hour or two in the morning, an hour or two at the night, and go out during the day and explore. So, and whether it's travel or whether it's just spending time with friends and family,
Mhm.
automation gives you that freedom. But when it comes to tips, what I do see is a lot of people get started the wrong way.
Mhm.
And so typically what I see is people get into a piece of software. They know that software is going to help them,
Mhm.
but they don't necessarily know what they need. And there's a million and one different platforms out there. So what typically happens is people go out and they get a recommendation from someone, they jump into it, they do a trial, they build something, and then they realize that the software doesn't do everything that they need. So then they need a second piece of software. So they repeat that process, and then a third and a fourth and a fifth. And like I said, 7 to 10, 7 to 12 is not uncommon. Um, but then the problem is that they start building based on what they know with their limited knowledge,
Mhm.
what they know that the system can do.
Mhm.
And what I always teach our users is start by forgetting about the software altogether. You need to understand your business. So, what is your process for your customers? What is it right now? And it might be a bit clunky and quite manual at the moment, but what is it now, good and bad? What would you like it to become? Forgetting about the software, forgetting about how you're going to make it happen, but what is that dream process? So
Mhm.
when somebody first, let's use the Facebook group as an example. When somebody first comes into your Facebook group, what is that the most amazing process that you could set up for that customer. So when they're first getting to know you, they're impressed. The number of people that come back to my Facebook message, which again is fully automated, I would say 7 out of 10 people respond to that message, which I think is saying something because Facebook tends to put you, if you don't know them, tends to put you in their, others folder or whatever.
Yeah.
But people are so blown away. Sometimes I don't hear from them for a couple of months because I've ended up in their others folder.
Yeah.
But when they see that message, they're so blown away that I have taken the time to message them that they respond. So it's an amazing way to build a relationship. So
Hmm.
figure out what you want that process to be, and only then should you start looking at software. And that's when you'll know, hey, you know what? I need to build an email list, so I need email marketing software, and I need a contact manager to look after people.
Hmm.
I want to build courses, so I need a course platform. So once you have a plan, then you know what you need, then you can choose the right software. But when you're looking at the software, and obviously I'm biased because I've built Gold Star, but have a look at what's available for software, because most of our users especially have tried lots of different platforms,
Yeah.
and when they needed help, it wasn't there.
Hmm.
And so when you have like support, in my opinion, is one of the most critical parts of being able to manage tech in your business.
Absolutely.
And if you start building it and you end up with a couple of different platforms, or you get stuck, or if you're mid-launch and something goes wrong
Hmm.
and you don't have the support, then that can be a massive negative impact on your business. And so you want to make sure that you've got the support that you need, that you've got a team behind you that are actually, that actually care.
Yeah.
And like I said, we are people first. We grow more slowly than some of the bigger platforms. I'd much rather have a smaller business with a user base that know how to use it, that are really using it, that feel supported,
Hmm.
than hundreds of thousands of people that have a mediocre experience. Um, so yeah, support is really, really important. And then my final tip would be, when you do choose one, start slowly, do one thing at a time. And I can't stress that enough. And I have to listen to my own advice half the time. Um, the biggest thing that I see when people have chosen their software, they get in and they try to build everything. Oh, you know what? I've got to launch next week. So I need to build my course, and I need to build the email marketing, and I need this and I need that. And all that happens is that you feel overwhelmed. So go back to your plan and say, all right, the first thing I need is a list builder. So like a freebie funnel to build your email list. Build that, go through the process, every single step, make that function. So then it'll start ticking along whilst you start building the next one. Plus, it's a confidence booster because you built something and it's working, and then you can get to the next one. And so bit by bit, it's going to take time to build these components, but each time you finish one, it starts working for you, which gives you back some time, which you can put into the next one. And bit by bit, you start realizing, hey, you know what? This is actually turning into a system that's really, really functional and really beneficial for my business.
Amazing. Excellent. I have to say, it sounds really amazing. And I'm so glad you have shared that with us today. Um, Before I ask for your information that you'd like to share with us about your
Yes.
product before you go, I've got a wee question about your favorite software, but I
Uh-huh.
suspect I know what your favorite software might be. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, what would you say is your favorite software for your business is the question.
Well, Gold Star Pro.
Yeah.
To be honest, though, and obviously it's my platform, but I launched it having been in the space of being a coach, being a course creator, and I had all the platforms. I had the ClickFunnels and the MailChimps and all of the different platforms. And it's not only incredibly overwhelming, but it's incredibly expensive when you've got all of those platforms as
Yeah.
well. And I was spending something like $500 a month just to have the systems in place.
Mhm.
And so at Gold Star, everything is in one place. And what I love is when people say, oh, can it do this? Like more often than not, the answer is yes, absolutely. The only thing that we don't have really at this point in time is a Zoom replacement,
Hmm.
but we integrate with Zoom and we integrate with Google Meet, so you can do that. But we legitimately like replace the need for so many different platforms, and it's only $97 a month. So, it's a huge, huge cost saver as well. And the other thing that I love is that myself and my team, we have a background as coaches and course creators. So it's not just tech coaching that we give our users. There's no sort of formalized business coaching as such,
Yeah.
but we have a lot of our Facebook group is very interactive in terms um, of brainstorming, of advice, and not always just tech support, so to speak. So, one of our trainings, we teach people how to actually build a lead magnet. So it's not just about plug your lead magnet in. A lot of our users, when they first get started, they've got bits and pieces, but they've never sort of formalized anything. So we have a particular strategy that I implemented when I built my Facebook funnel,
Hmm.
that's worked really, really well. And so we go down that path as well. So it really is, when I say an all-in-one platform, it has all the functionality, but it then has all the support as well, which is so critical.
Amazing, which is what a lot of the other ones definitely are missing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely. So that just leads us to the last question. How can the audience connect with you? Where can they find you? Is there anything particular you want to share with them today in that front?
Absolutely. So our website is www.usegoldstar.com. However, we also have our brand new 5 Day to Simplify challenge. So that is literally 5 days to simplify.com. Either the number five or the word five. And you can register for that challenge. And as part of that, sign up for the 14-day trial. And we'll get you into our community, get you set up, get you sorted. We even do an onboarding call with all of our new users. So we actually do the real techie stuff, setting up your domain, setting up your email domain so you get the best deliverability. And we do all of that as part of that 5 day challenge. So if people want to have a look, 5 days to simplify.com.
Excellent. And I will put those links in the show notes so people can
Wonderful.
click them. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am
Thank you
really
for having me.
interested to have a wee play with the software myself.
Wonderful. Well, we would love to see you over there. And yeah, we genuinely just love helping our users have a bigger impact on the world. And when you're in a space where you get to do what you love every day, it's an amazing place to live and work. And that's what I get to do. That's what my team gets to do, and that's what we're helping our users get to do as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to helping people.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.